Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace. Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah, my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My God.
My God.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
You remain standing. Islam.
Islam.
First I give praise to Allah,
First I give praise to Allah,
the great God of the universe.
the great God of the universe.
I give honor to his holy divine prophet,
I give honor to his holy divine prophet,
Noble Drew Ali,
Noble Drew Ali,
the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to the forerunner to the prophet,
I give honor to the forerunner to the prophet,
Brother Marcus Garvey.
Brother Marcus Garvey.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets,
I give honor to all true and divine prophets,
Jesus,
Jesus,
Muhammad,
Muhammad,
Buddha, Confucius,
Confucius,
etc.
etc.
I give honor to our past supreme grand advisor and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to our past supreme grand advisor and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother C. Kirkman Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
Brother F. Nelson Bay,
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
and Brother J. Blakely Bay.
I give honor to our former Grand Sheikh and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to our former Grand Sheikh and moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Brother R. Laville.
Brother R. Laville.
I give honor to our present Grand Sheikh, who is the moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to our present Grand Sheikh, who is the moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Brother R. Jones Bay.
Brother R. Jones Bay.
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to the Assistant Grand Sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Brother P. Chase Hill.
Brother P. Chase Hill.
I give honor to the Grand National Secretary of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to the Grand National Secretary of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Sister I. Morbay.
Sister I. Morbay.
I give honor to the Financial Secretary of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
I give honor to the Financial Secretary of the Moorish Science Temple of America,
Sister T. Potter Bay.
Sister T. Potter Bay.
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
Brother H. Harris Bay,
Brother H. Harris Bay,
and to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother T. Gaither.
Brother T. Gaither.
I give honor to all auxiliaries of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to all auxiliaries of the Moorish Science Temple of America.
I give honor to the American flag,
I give honor to the American flag,
the Moorish flag,
the Moorish flag,
and to our charter.
and to our charter.
I give honor to everything that the prophet brought
I give honor to everything that the prophet brought
for the uplifting of fallen humanity.
for the uplifting of fallen humanity.
I give honor to man.
I give honor to man.
Peace.
Peace.
Salvation, our God, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known for the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man born in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh. And sent to his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the state government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of the state government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now claim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noah Drali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must properly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting act of the Moorish Science of America. Members must pay the dues and keep alive all necessities of the Moorish Science of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children who have duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother, be industrious, and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans keep their hearts and minds pure with love, and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from the Holy Prophet Noah Drali, through begotten Father God Allah. Noah Drali, founder, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his Holy Prophet Drali, amen. The Moorish Science of America, Home Office, 2905 5th Street, Southeast, Washington, D.C., 20032. Thus I read from the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Now I'd like to read from the questionnaire and additional law for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noah Drali. Act 1. Grand Sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple be approved by the Prophet Noah Drali. Before acting upon by any members, let it be financed property or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction established by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around the meeting period, should be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second, he'll be fined $1, which will be the emergency fund. If the member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Lifting Fund, because they take finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to finance to aid, meet, and save the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It has the power and best in my hands. I will have to force the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we have to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must properly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school. And the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise fine senses who is able to do so, because offering the Sunday school can the guidance of the nation. Act 6. But first, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now, and all men now proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noah Drali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must properly attend their meetings and become a part and a party of all uplifting act of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep alive all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children, look after duties of your household. sons and daughters must obey father and mother, be industrious, and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans keep their hearts and minds pure with love, and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from the Holy Prophet Noble Ali through the God's Father, God Allah. That's what I read from the questionnaire and additional of all 7 acts. Now I'm going to read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science about America, divinely declared by the Noble Prophet, Prophet Noble Ali. I'd like to read from chapter 35, page 42. Holy instructions from the Prophet religion. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, incomprehensible. The sun is not Allah, though is no resemblance. He lightened the world with his brightness. He has once given life to the products of the earth. Admire him as a creature, the instrument of Allah, or worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Who has stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who has prescribed with his fingers the courses of the stars, who setteth bounds to the ocean, that it cannot pass, and setteth into the stormy winds be still, who shaketh the earth, and the nations tremble, who dareth the lightning on the wicked undismayed, who called forth worlds by the words of his mouth, who smiteth with his arm and sinketh to nothing. O reverence the majestic of the omnipotent, and tempt not his anger, lest thou be destroyed. The providence of Allah doth all his works. He ruleth and directeth with infinite wisdom. Peace.
Peace.
Islam, Moors.
Islam.
I'd like to welcome all out to our Sunday school. Everybody feeling okay? Warming up for you? Okay?
Sunshine.
Yeah, okay.
It's more.
I guess as numbers come in, I think you feel a little warm. But I'd like to welcome all out to our Sunday school. We have anybody need to come upstairs, we can all get the same instructions. So yeah. Anybody need? For Sunday school, children's Sunday school? Okay. You let children go downstairs? Not yet.
She downstairs.
Oh.
No, it's my flash.
Anybody need this? You can raise your hand up to the sister. You need water? Up to the sisters, raise your hand. Again, I'd like to welcome all out to our Sunday school here at Temple 71. Pray that we have a good Sunday school day and that we can fix. Okay. We've been instructed by the Grand Secret of the Moderator of the Moorish Science I pray the Lord that we have a good Sunday school today. And I just want to Just give honor before we get started to all those who aid and assist in this movement. That's Sunday school. Give honor to all those who aid and assist in this movement, as well as those who aid and assist in Temple 71. As our good brothers sitting on the V-Bay and not good brother at the step.
Praise God.
Yeah, I like to give honor to all them that who aid and assist in this gigantic movement. Praise the Lord for us. So we have
Mission.
yeah, we just praise the Lord for you. But we're gonna have a moment with excuse me. So we're gonna have a moment of silent meditation before I call out instructor. Islam.
Islam.
Without further ado, I'd like to call forth the Grand Chief, who is the moderator of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother John Bay, to instruct our Sunday school.
Islam.
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe,
Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen.
Praise the Lord. All right. No need to do that. Who made it?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where is the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Jua?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
The prophet is a thought of Allah manifested in the flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who is the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America?
Noble Drew Ali.
What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
1913
Where?
AD. Newark, New Jersey.
Where was Noble Jua Bond?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish
What
American.
is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded?
For the uplifting of fallen humanity.
How did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of a flag is a Moorish?
It is a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Because Friday is the day on which man was formed in flesh. And it was on a Friday when he departed out of flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem of Judah in the house of David.
Who were his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers through which Jesus came are Abraham, Boaz by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, and Joseph by Mary.
Okay, it says, will you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came? How did Jesus come? Through that genealogy. How did he travel through that genealogy? That's good, Mark. That means that those individuals who are named, they had to do what? Hold a thought. That thought had to travel.
Praise the Lord.
And that travel, and in that traveling of that thought, it had to be what? Or what kind of thought?
Pure.
Yes, pure thought. Yes, but a more of a what kind of thought?
Righteous.
Yes, no question.
Divine.
No question. You're right.
Manifestation.
Yes, say it, Mo. A consistent thought. And that thought traveled. That means that those individuals who allowed that thought to travel through them, they held it in a consistent way. What else do you know about those individuals who held that thought?
They were upright.
They were upright, no question. What else?
They loved God.
They loved God, no question. What else?
They were Muslims.
They were Muslims.
Praise the Lord.
They were Muslims. Because that thought that they held was sent by the one God. That's how they were able to plug in. If they had been under the influence of a multiplicity of gods, that thought would have got lost.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
It would have got lost. That's why you must understand how detrimental it is to be a idol worshiper. Because one who worships idols lays his head down at the foot of many of those things that he called God. And there is no consistent flow of the one.
Is that Islam?
Yes.
Is that along the same line of a man's ideal?
It's
is
no
God?
question.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
It's no question. See, a man's ideal is his God. Think about it. Why? Why is a man's ideal his? Matter of fact, what does ideal have to do with God? A man's ideal is his God.
The way he, can I use a car as an example?
Yeah.
I seen a gentleman, it was cold, it was wintertime. He was out there washing his car and praising, taking pictures of it.
Right.
You know, so he hold that car in that high esteem, you know, to that degree that that car that became his God.
Okay.
Don't want nobody touching it, don't want nobody walking too close to it.
Okay.
He peeping out the window watching at it.
Okay.
If I could hold that fast with my thought of Allah,
Right.
you know,
Right.
where would that ideal be?
Right. But moving, but remember, what you saw him do was an indication of one who needs to see his God.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Sister, dear lady.
Listen, I was thinking about a man's idea is
Ideal.
I was thinking that it's an unstable foundation when he sees a man's idea. Is his
Ideal.
Ideal. Okay, I hope my pronunciation.
That's all right, ideal. Yeah.
But I'm looking at an unstable foundation. That's his own foundation, but it's
Okay.
not stable.
That's right. Okay. Sister McGee back.
Islam. I looked up the definition of ideal. And it
Yes.
says, satisfying one's conception of what is perfect, most suitable.
Yes. Yes. Conception of one's whose thought is of perfection. What you gonna say, Green Bay? I know you're gonna say the same thing.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
the conception, but
Yes.
I was looking at it as one's highest conception.
Yes. 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 But how does one reach his highest conception about God? How can you, or what allows you to reach your highest conception about God? And once you reach that conception, how do you stay there?
Praise the Lord.
Or is it even worth you staying there? Or should you stay there? Once you reach your highest ideal of what God is to you, should you stay there? That's a question. Come on, Mom.
Absolutely.
I was thinking in terms of how to reach, because that was the question, right? How to reach their eyes.
Well, yeah, that can be added into the question.
Love.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because, that's the only Savior of the world.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna reach that, conception or that perspective
Yes.
of, who God truly is.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
like
Yes.
you say, man, God today,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow is
That's
not
right.
God, it's man unfold.
That's right.
It's God.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Sister Johnson, babe.
I was just thinking that, it's how you get there, the process of how you get there, and actually how you see your God,
That's right.
you know.
It's how you get there.
Yeah.
That is. Yes. How does one get there to even visualize inside, how does one visualize his concept or his perception of God? How do you get there?
Well, you gotta practice the principles.
There's no question
Most
about that.
definitely,
You got to do that. Come on, Mo.
I would say more what they've been practicing
Yeah,
of God.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. What they have been practicing pertaining to the God that they do hold as their highest ideal.
So that means preparation.
There's no question. Don't you know you got to be prepared? You have to be prepared to meet God.
Exactly. You need to be prepared. Preparation.
What is the preparation process to meet God?
Acceptance is true.
Turn away from sin.
That's right. That's right. Turn away from sin, purifying your heart. You can't really meet God in a soiled place.
And willingness to make a sacrifice.
Well, you-
Blind sacrifice.
Well, you know what? You're laying the sacrifice at the altar when you are sincerely in search of Him.
Mm-hmm.
When you're sincerely looking, you are sacrificing. You are sacrificing the lamb on the altar. Yes.
It's it.
You know, Brother Lee, one of the thoughts you said it was visualize,
Yes.
ideal,
Yes.
your vision.
Yes.
And with that vision, to me, it plays a major part because your conception
Yes.
of how you view it
Yes.
and what you have been introduced to
Yes.
may help shape it.
Yes.
But the beauty of what we have is he lets us know that man sees Allah from different points of view.
Yes.
So he don't seem to be the same to everybody.
Yes. That's right.
But I have the vision. I have to see something about Allah that makes me realize that I don't have to see him with
Okay.
these physical eyes.
Okay.
So it goes back to what you said. It really comes back to the individual.
Yeah.
But we gotta be careful, and I'm just gonna let it go. We gotta be careful because man has a tendency to shape his ideal
Right.
and try to push it towards you as being the ideal.
Right. That's right.
So that's why the prophet is letting us know we each want to preach to ourselves. So go out and search it for yourself. Not to take away what they got to offer,
Yes.
but to be what you know, you got to vision it.
Yes.
You got to see it in you.
Yes.
And this is the way I see my Lord.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this then. What is an indication? What is an indication of how you see your Lord?
Islam. Everything that I've been through and how it is beginning, I'm beginning to sensing
Okay.
of this change, that I'm transforming
Okay.
in my own life. I mean, the evidence is clear, as to what I've been through.
Okay.
And I just was reading that man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul.
Yes.
So that's a part of it too.
Okay.
I really like what the brother said about the God we see and the God we have understanding, and the God that we follow help shape and mold that thought to get us to begin to practice and to be consistent with that.
Okay. Now listen, I want to reemphasize this question again. Give me an indication of your perception of God. Or what do you use as your measurement of how you see God? or do you measure your perception of God?
Absolutely.
Come on. Oh, brother McQueen Neal, I got you, Alan Neal. Come on, Mo.
Go ahead, Mo.
Okay, brother Alan Neal.
Islam. I personally don't say that I would say that I don't measure it.
Right.
Because if I do, I'm not conscious of it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
an indication for me is my dedication to serving God, being of service.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the things that I do in my daily lifestyle
Okay.
is an indication to me. But I was thinking about something Grant Dunn said in reference to, we talking about man's ideal, but also unfolding, right?
Yes.
And I was thinking about what the brother said about the car thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of different on that.
Right.
In this sense, a person can take care of something that they have,
Right.
but that don't mean that they worship it as
Right.
God,
Right.
That's true.
because they take care of it.
Right.
So I mean, will be careful when trying
Identify.
to assess
Right.
whether a person is worshiping
Right.
an idol.
Right.
I mean, that's a thin line for me,
Right.
because
Right.
I gotta be
Absolutely.
careful that I'm not worshiping it.
Right.
I try to stay inward
Right.
with that.
Right. But I think what he was trying to do is to bring out an example.
Right.
That's all.
You know. Go ahead, brother Greenway. What you gonna say?
I was just thinking about salvation. You know,
Okay.
and the prophet speaks about that being a ladder reaching from the heart of man
Okay.
to the heart of Allah.
Okay.
And you climb.
Okay.
You have belief,
Okay.
and that's what man thinks perhaps to be the truth. Then
Okay.
you have faith,
Okay.
and this is man himself the truth. Then you have fruition,
Okay.
and it said belief is lost in faith, and
Okay.
fruition, faith is lost.
Okay.
So it's like you climbing,
Okay.
and that's how I see it, as far as the ideal.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is you're building, you're stepping
Okay.
from belief to faith to fruition.
Okay. All right. Give me some other indicators about how you. Give me other ways of your perception of how you see God. Come on.
Your actions, Mo, what you show, demonstrate to the world.
Praise the Lord.
Okay.
Praise the
How
Lord.
you carry yourself,
Okay.
how you treat people.
That's the piece. You can always tell by how you treat people. How do you treat people?
Praise the Lord.
Yes,
See, that's a major indication of where you are as far as your acknowledging the existence of God.
And everything.
How do you treat people? Not only how you treat people, but what you think about people. Can someone alter your thinking about a person? Do you take their way or their suggestions because you may be closer to them than you are to the person that they're giving you the information about? Do your attitude change? If someone brings you some information that thinking that you don't know, I bet you didn't know this.
Praise the Lord.
And do your attitude change towards a person when you receive certain information that can cause your current of thought to be altered? Do you still see God in that person? Or do you yield to that which sometimes calls himself God? How do you look at people? See, your way of dealing with people should never change regardless of who the person is.
That's right. That's right.
And if you're not at a point where you can deal with them, you still don't wish them no harm.
That's right. Come on.
And you sure don't spread no slander. That's all you can do. Pray for them and back up. And say peace. But don't stand and engage in a conversation that starts to demean a person. Then you start adding your little stuff into it because it's not enough being said, well, since you're talking about them like that, let me add my little thing.
You create another condition.
That's what you've done. And you can't see God.
No.
Because remember, that very person that you're talking about has God in them. So you gotta be careful. We gotta be careful with that. See, the earth makes certain things pleasing and acceptable that's not really pleasing, or should they be acceptable? That's how earth life is, because it is a life of illusion. And the whole key to this earth life thing is to, with the lower self and man, is to get us involved and in constant functioning within the illusion, making our decision making based off of the illusion, making our choices based off the illusion. It's all about being under the influence of the illusion. It takes courage and it takes strength to be able to come out of the illusion and say, no, I'm not going to do that. See, it takes strength to say, I'm not going to do that.
That's right.
Because you're going against the illusion. And the illusion has been an accepted way of life. We were born into the illusion.
That's right.
And many of us have accepted the illusion as being real. And the very things that we can't let go that's in the illusion, the things that we can't let go are the things that continue to hold us captive, which prevents you from seeing God from a total different perspective. As you let go, you ascend.
That's right.
But if you don't let go, you stay where you are, and your perception is the same. You can't see anything different, because by the ties, you're bound down to carnal life. Once you're bound down to carnal life, what you see is what? Carnality. Come on.
No, sir. I was listening to you talk about illusion, and you know, I need some help to get out the illusion.
There's no question.
And I need a pattern once I get out the illusion.
There's no question.
Say I get out the illusion, then what I'm gonna do? I don't know what to do, because all I know is the illusion.
But see, what happens is this. As you start to climb out of the illusion, that which you have not seen, you begin to see. And once you start seeing it, it becomes more plain to you the higher you ascend. Until you see it, you don't even know it exists.
Praise the Lord.
So as you start to come up out of it, if you're actually coming up out of it, you see things that you did not even know existed. You see the advantages, and you see the ladder. See, until you see the ladder, you don't climb, because you don't even know that the ladder is there for you to climb. You got to start to raise yourself up so you can see the ladder. Yeah, man.
There's no. I just want to add to what you're saying. I mean, it's actually the higher self.
Yes.
That's what's going to bring you out of it.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's a gradual. I mean, that's a process that can, it's going to be done in a conflict that cannot be told in words.
See, the key to the illusion is that it must be revealed. Until it is revealed and you're able to identify it, you don't even know you're in it.
I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah.
It's loud.
What you started saying about being able to come out the illusion,
Yes.
and this came across my mind, brother, that once you reach a level, a spiritual level of consciousness,
Yes.
then you start seeing your God
Yeah.
for the perfect seed of development that's within you.
Yeah.
So when you are dealing with other people,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you see that same perfect seed of development within them.
Yeah.
And you don't harm them by word, actions, or deed,
Yeah.
but you got to be in a spiritual level of consciousness to be able to see this.
Yeah. See, remember what he said? What did he say when you first start to pursue this way of life? What must you do?
Think your condition.
You got to think your condition will be better. But then what must you do? You must perform the rite. There is a ritual that you must perform.
Oh, the cleansing right.
The cleansing.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. That right. R-I-T-E. Yeah.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
See, you have to perform that. Because that's the key piece in that rite or writ or thing
Right.
is the turning away.
Praise the Lord.
and the striving. They're connected together. See, once you turn away, you must strive. Because turning away is not enough unless you strive. See, you can turn away today, but unless you're striving, you'll return back tomorrow. A man's God today, tomorrow's not God. That goes both ways.
I have a question.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mom.
On the perspective of the illusion,
Yes.
the mental slavery,
Yeah.
and darkness,
Yes.
are they separate entities that hold us, or they all can they be considered all as one?
No, what you mean, the mental slavery and
The
darkness?
mental slavery, darkness, the illusion.
Well, remember, mental slavery is darkness.
Right. Okay.
So you don't have mental slavery without darkness. Because to be a mental slave, you are in darkness. And the illusion is the perpetrator of it all.
Okay.
See, once you go into the illusion, you're in darkness.
Right.
There's no light there.
Yeah. Okay. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Any light that's there is borrowed because it's a reflection.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
See, one learns how to live in a reflection. We've learned how to live in a reflection. We've learned how to live with those things that appear and disappear.
Okay.
We've learned how to make adjustments with manifestations. We've learned how to live amongst manifestations. But the only problem with living among manifestations in your unconscious, you accept manifestations as being real. And once you accept the manifestation as being real, you do anything to maintain a manifestation. But that's the world of reflection. Because a manifestation is only reflection. Now someone has to come here and raise our level of consciousness so that we can see the reflection as a reflection and not as a reality. That's the turning away.
Okay.
That's the sacrifice.
And seek ye first the kingdom of heaven.
That's the
consistently.
key. That's why he lets you know the key is to seek first. Once you seek first the kingdom, then the kingdom and the light that comes from the kingdom, it shows the illusion for what it is.
Okay. Praise the Lord.
It's not there. It's not there.
Okay.
What you think you're going to get from this manifested thing is not there. It's only there in your mind. You dig what I'm saying?
Okay. Praise the Lord.
That's why you can't sacrifice for material things because it's not there. Come on.
Well, you know, I was just listening when you were sharing about the illusion.
Yeah.
And what I gather from it, it's a thin line.
It is.
It's a serious thin line.
It is.
Compared to what we can even imagine.
Yes.
Because sometimes when we think about the illusion,
Yeah.
we think about the big illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, Mo.
But we can easily be in the illusion
Yeah.
by the things we participate in.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why I think, and when I heard you say that, just giving a scenario about how you deal with people
Yeah.
and how that you just quickly change from one thought to another,
Yes.
that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I can speak for myself, it can happen.
Yes, that's right.
So I think my thought would be is that I got to be a little more conscious
Yes.
of what I'm presenting, what I'm getting involved in.
Yes.
Because if I'm not, I'm in the illusion.
Yes.
Thinking I'm functioning in the real.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a constant reflection
Yeah.
of how we are operating.
Yes. But it's not, I won't say it's not, I'll just say, think about it in this term. Not necessarily a thin line. It's a thin veil.
Yes, sir, I got you. I hear you. Praise the Lord. Good word. Yes, it is.
It's a veil, Mo.
I can hear you.
Come on.
I'm thinking, for us to be an illusion, then we're not self-examining ourselves, our weaknesses
Right.
and our strength.
Because in the illusion, we have had to use them weaknesses to
Exactly.
survive.
And we're not accepting those weaknesses.
Right. Right.
We're
No, because the weaknesses have served us.
Come on.
In some cases, these weaknesses have saved our lives in the world of illusion.
So, but we haven't gone back and examined.
No.
They done served us, but how far have they gotten us?
Yes, and that's the key.
Right?
That's the
And
key.
how many times we done tried to get there and still failed?
That's right.
So isn't it time to try something different?
Yes,
go another route, re-examine what we thought was true,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I was thinking about your question earlier, you know, your perception to Allah, right?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, you know, when I feel my soul stop being outrageous
Yes.
and start to get in tune,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'm starting to understand and bring Allah within me more
Yes.
because it's my soul is calmed down
Yes.
and it's continued to calm down.
Yes.
You know, and now they're in tune or trying to be in tune. They might not be completely
Yeah.
in tune, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
And it's a long ways from once upon a time.
Oh yeah. 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 It's no question. See, that thing about that calming down, until you learn to, until you develop self-control, you're not going to get a true perception
Right.
of what's real. Because you get in your feelings. And your feelings are altering. They alter thought. Once you get into a certain feeling, see that feeling got what is known as ripples.
Right.
You enter into the ripples of feelings. And that means that your thought pattern is concerned primarily with that feeling and its ripples. And some people can get so caught up in ripples that they hold stuff. And when they are in a certain way of thinking, they conjure it up. That means they reinforce. And as long as you're reinforcing that feeling, you can't see the true perception of what it really is. Because the feeling that you're getting comes from an illusion. So now you're functioning in a feeling, and you're functioning in or under. Brother.
You gotta think about the mental aspect of it.
Yeah, Mo.
Right? Because a lot of times a person can be scarred by something that takes place.
Sure.
And it can cause like a deep emotional
Sure.
tear in
Sure.
within that
Sure.
person, right?
Sure.
And as man unfolds,
Yes.
as God unfolds.
Yes.
You said it, man, it's God today, tomorrow is not God.
Yes.
So as you gotta be in certain types of environment to receive wholesome nourishment
Yes.
in order to unfold
Yes.
as bud unfolds shall
Yes.
sprout.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the seed,
Yes.
because we still a seed,
Yes.
you know, we in this
Yes.
valley
Yes.
being planted,
Yes.
right? So from a physical perspective,
Yes.
I'm planted here in the Moore Science Temple of America,
Yes.
right? And I'm receiving nourishment
Yes.
to help the seed develop,
Yes.
right? And if I'm applying myself, you know what I'm saying, the bud's going to unfold eventually, but it may take time. It's not
Yes.
going to happen overnight.
No, it's not.
I didn't get this way overnight.
No.
So a lot of the things that I'm challenged by, it's a constant battle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you want to win a few.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may appear to lose a few.
That's
I'm not going to say you lose because there's no failure for you.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
So even though it appears that I may have lost the battle,
Right.
That's just
Right.
the illusion.
That's the
Because
illusion.
victory
That's
is
right.
sure.
That's right.
Allah's leading no.
That's right.
But I just gotta keep on staying on the path. I gotta
You do.
stay on. Because things gonna happen that I'm not gonna agree with,
Sure.
that I don't understand.
Sure.
But in spite of all of that, I have to stay connected to the prophet.
Sure. See, more, remember this too, that the illusion or the thought is to get you to accept defeat.
Yes.
That's why the trials and tribulations magnify themselves to you. So that the physical can say, man, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because once you say, I can't do it, you cease to strive. You're no longer striving. You done gave up. And unless you're striving, you can't ascend. Your ascension is solely dependent on your striving to ascend. Because if I'm striving to ascend, that means I see ascension. Once you no longer see ascension, then you no longer ascend. The key is, what do you accept? Come on.
That's what I found so wonderful about this gospel.
Yeah.
It's a saving power.
Yes. 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 Yes.
It comes from Allah.
Yes.
By his prophet.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You can hear that, but until you start to do the three things that the prophet talked perception, because it gives you three things.
That's right.
Perception of that self.
That's right.
A knowledge of he who created it.
That's right.
And a sense of worship
Yes.
that we owe unto him.
Yes.
Once we cultivate them three things, because that's the power number three.
Yes.
You unfold.
Right.
You know when you was in the darkness, at least I know when I was in the darkness, and
Yeah.
now I know I'm not in the darkness that I was in.
Yes.
And the only thing I can attribute that to is this gospel.
Yes. Yes.
It's helped me grow and unfold.
That's right.
You know, but I don't put a final analysis of who God is because he's
Can't
almighty, eternal, and
Incomprehensible. That's right. That's right. See,
I
it's,
don't pretend to know what I don't know.
that's right. That's
The
right.
prophet said, know thyself.
That's right.
That's what I'm striving to know. That's the part that I think is within my measure.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Come on, man.
Islam, and on that thought, in the simplest way for me
Yes.
is honor and trust those 5 principles: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Say
Yes.
truth is what's gonna set me free.
Yes.
So when I
Make
study,
Yes.
make me free. When I study,
Yeah.
when I do my research,
Yes.
and I find out things that I, no other place in my life compelled me to go this way.
Yes.
Everything up to this point compelled me to go the other way.
Yeah.
You know, so I see, I had that sensing. And that's another thing, that feeling
Yes.
and that sensing.
Yes, man.
You know,
Yes.
it's that sensing that keeps me on this path.
Yes.
As opposed to that feeling that I know is connected to that emotion.
Yes.
That's going to keep me in that illusion.
Yes. See, remember, on this path, you have to muster power.
Must. So you got to be strong.
You have to muster power, and you have it.
Yeah.
The question is, are you confident in calling it forth? See, because we haven't used our power for the good.
First thoughts that came.
We've used the reverse
Good as that power.
of the good. Because in the world that we have accepted as being real, the power of good does not supplant the power to get over.
Right.
Because we've been taught we got to get over. In the world of illusion, what is respected is the God of wealth, the God of money. Because that false God gives you a false thinking that if I can get some money, I can do all right. And then we were born in the condition or the thought known as America, where capitalism is a way of life. To be in America without money is a frightening thing. Well, it's meant to be. That's why they want to show you everything that money can provide. Because they want you to learn to rely on money. Because if they can get you to rely on money, you don't have time for what? Because right now, I got to get me some money. I can't go to temple till I look right. It takes money. You hear the concept? And you can justify it. You can justify going out and getting some money. Because you say, when I get me some money, I'm going to take it to the temple. And I'm going to give this and I'm going to give that. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I've seen that done before. And let me tell you something. Money ill-gotten is cursed.
Yes.
And anyone who received it is cursed. So you got to be careful what kind of money you take. All money ain't good money.
Praise the Lord.
You got to be able to make a distinction between what is and what is not. Because you know, because these people now, they give you some money, they got attachments. Well, I got you. Come on, sis. I got you. I got you. Come on, sis.
Just thinking about what you just said about the attachments.
Yes.
The illusion and the world will give you credit.
Yeah, that sure will.
And then they have an attachment to it.
That's right.
And the more you think you're paying for it,
That's right.
the more they tacking on to it.
That's right.
So it's almost like when you think about the higher plane of thought and the lower thought,
Yes.
when you accept that
Yes.
illusion that's in the world,
Yes.
then you have now attached yourself to something lower.
Yes.
And you work so
That's
hard
right.
to try to
That's
keep
right.
paying
That's
it off,
right.
and it never
It never gets paid off.
seems like
That's
it.
right. That's right. That's right.
I just wanna-
But that's the
Praise
truth.
the Lord.
But remember,
Praise the Lord.
that's the thought of the system that's implemented in this particular country.
Right.
We were born into it. Think about it. We were born into the system of money.
That's right.
That's right.
I mean, and it's internalized in us. It's a part of our psyche. So you're talking about trying to raise yourself out of that way of thinking, yet still maintain your balance here. That's what you're thinking about doing.
Caveat emptor.
More, you got to know. You got to know how to use the advantage of what we have in us. The ability, the power to think. It is no good to us if we don't use it.
Right.
That's right.
Remember, there is the mind, if constructed properly, to learn to use it right.
That's right.
Then you function within the system of illusion, using the illusion to your advantage. Come on.
And then they put on the money, in God we trust.
No question. No question. But that is a man's ideal is his God.
Yes.
That is the world of illusion. See, the world of the illusion, but it's necessary that you remember, there is no freedom in the world of illusion. Once you accept the illusion, you're not free. Come on.
And I just want to add that the illusion, as we've been talking about it a lot, you know, it's not just physical.
No.
You got to be of a mind for that. It's both mental too. You see what I'm saying? It's two aspects to it. I mean, you're not just seeing illusions with the physical eye. You're seeing illusions with the eyes of soul as well. So you got to be of a mind for that. It's not just a physical thing. Yeah, mostly, I would say, it's just the opposite. You know.
See, remember, the mind is what helps to create the illusion.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yeah.
The mind makes the illusion real to us. Because the thought of illusion creates the illusion, because the mind is where things are made of thought. So you make the illusion based on the way you think. However you think, you have a creation that manifests. And you create the manifestations from the illusionary thought that you think, if in fact you're thinking in an illusionary way. Yeah.
Listen, what was that the prophet said about money? He said it doesn't make the man.
Doesn't make the man.
That's right.
It's free national standards.
Character. Makes a man and a nation.
That's right.
It's not the money. The money doesn't do anything but alter your appearance.
Wolf in sheep's clothing.
It alters your appearance. It gets you to buy further into the illusion.
And Islam, and to be worshipped by those things of no worth.
Of course. And worshiped by those individuals who don't have it.
Right.
Because every time,
Be not puffed
if a
up.
person has not been exposed to money, they already have a preconceived notion of what they're going to do when they get some.
Absolutely.
Only to find out that when they get some, all them notions go out the window. Because when the accumulation of it, there's also a vibration that's attached to it. And once you walk into that vibration of having it without guidance, it's going to pull you all kind of ways.
Real sluggish.
You're going to do all kind of things. You're going to find some ways to spend your money. You ain't never had none.
Whatever can do good, can also do harm.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not friends.
That's why you have to make sure you direct the course.
That's it.
See, remember, the mind to employ it aright. Come on, babe. Me here.
And Islam, while we on illusion,
Yes.
let's remember the prophet said we could die under illusion.
If you're caught under it.
Yes. So he teaches us not how to get from up under it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what you're discussing now, the ways to release yourself from the illusion. First, get yourself some relief so you can get a release. Come on, my dear.
Islam, guarding your thoughts
Yes.
at all times.
Yes. That's right. Remember, that's what he
Making sure
said.
you're
That's
keeping
right.
a high thought
That's right.
and a divine thought
That's right.
will help guide you in the right direction.
That's right.
And that's up.
That's up. That's right. Now keep in mind, once we enter into the ethers, and the ethers again is the medium by which thought travels. Once we enter into that medium, we are going to be confronted with all kinds of thoughts.
That's right.
And the thoughts that will attach themselves to you are the thoughts that you think. You just attract more of those, that way of thinking. Now, if we're going through the conflict that can't be told in words, we have to be careful that we don't think the way we've always thought. Because in that thinking like that, for some of us, we find comfort because we don't know what to expect thinking of kind of way. I'm going through a battle now. Do I revert back to what's most common to me? Do I behave like I normally behave in a situation like this? Or do I have the strength to alter the way I'm thinking and to try this new way of thought for me?
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Come on.
But I'm in a battle. And for real, I don't know how this thing might come out. Do I stay with what I'm comfortable with, or do I try something different?
Absolutely.
Now, the minute you make the choice is the minute you're going to be bombarded because they're rushing 1,000 at a time.
Yes.
That's why it's so important that you have to do what? You guard yourself, no question. Watch them, but what must you do in guarding yourself?
Practice.
You got to practice, no question. Why do you need to practice?
Because of that is all these illusions and all these ways of life that I've been in most of my life. So now I begin to sense this other way of living. Now I got to practice staying to God myself. I don't know how to God myself. What does that mean? God myself. I'm no God myself like this.
Right.
Now I'm God myself mentally.
That's right.
You know, I'm protecting myself. I'm staying in the highest, or I'm beginning to understand the difference between the higher self and the lower self. And I keep bouncing back and forth.
Right.
So
and remember this. It aids you in your selection process. See, it's all a process, man.
But practice become a part of you.
It does.
Right. And it's hard for you to alter in a different direction when you already made something a part of you.
Unless you have been under the illusion that you've gotten rid of that thing.
Exactly.
Because see, if you just haven't been exposed to it for a minute, you may think it's gone. Until that condition calls it forth.
Sure.
Because see, each condition calls forth a certain weakness that we possess.
Yes, it does.
And in that condition, we either combat that weakness, or that fault, that failing, or that challenge,
That's right.
or we don't.
Wouldn't that come from you stop practicing?
That can come from your practice too, because remember, we're practicing to overcome that.
Okay.
But that don't mean we've overcome it. We are practicing to overcome it.
Praise the Lord.
We hope that we're getting some type of grip on it. But it doesn't mean that's not necessarily so. Because maybe your practice has not been consistent enough.
So I say the soldier never knows his strength until he meets a foe.
Never.
Those challenges, those foes, those barriers that I confronted allows me and it helped me to grow.
And it helps you to be revealed to you. See, you have to take your soul and you have to show her the scene. She must be able to identify with the scene of events. She can recognize the scene of events. She knows how she's supposed to carry it if you are giving her the proper instructions. If you're not giving her the proper instructions, she will become subject to the allurements of imagination. Come on.
You know, the thoughts that keep coming to my mind from leaders in hearing this conversation, I think it's a very helpful conversation for myself, is honesty with self
Yes.
and self-examination.
Yes. Yes.
And this is because if you're not honest with yourself,
Yes.
then all this is mute.
Yes.
Because just like you said, we can automatically feel,
Yes.
or we think because we come to the temple
Yes.
on a consistent
Yes.
basis,
Yes.
that we are able to identify
Yes.
these things.
Yes. Yes.
That's an illusion.
Yes. That's an illusion. That's right.
Because the way I'm listening to how you explain it is much more deeper
It is, Mo.
than the conversation that we had.
Right. Right, Mo.
And until we be honest that we may be under the illusion,
Right.
and we need to go and self-examine ourselves,
Right.
we're going to continue to think we're in the real,
Right.
but we're in the illusion.
Illusion. Right.
And the key is to be able to say, look, I am in the illusion.
Right.
Now what am I going to do about it?
How do I come out?
How do I come out of it? So now, here comes the renew your acts and amend your ways.
Yes. But it back.
Go ahead,
But
sir.
none of this. But all of this is mute.
Come on.
All of it. It doesn't matter if you don't first turn away from sin.
That's it.
Come on. I hear
That's
you,
the
sir.
first step. Until you really, and I'm not saying it's you have to do it in the measure that's best suited for you. But your results that you receive will be solely dependent on how much you're able to do. You make or you mar your fortune. Yes. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Well, prophet talks about knowing your lower self. One
Yes.
who knows his lower self knows the illusion of
Yes.
himself. And I was thinking about how I thought is developed by the exercise of strength.
Yes.
And in that, I find that in those struggles between being in illusion
Yes.
and going on how it makes me feel
Yes.
while I'm in illusion. Because
Yes.
illusion feel good sometimes.
Yes.
I mean,
Come on, Mo. Come on, man. That's the truth.
that's a good feeling for me.
Yeah, ain't no
at times.
question.
And knowing I'm in it.
Yeah. But Mo, remember, the illusion appeals to the feelings of the body. See, that's why it's so difficult sometimes to get up out of it.
Right.
Because we're in the world of physicality. And we're in a physical body. And that body responds to physical stimulation. The question is, can you gain control over the body? Because until you gain control over the body, you're going to be subject to it. Yeah, it feels good. But it ain't good for me. Yeah, only for a moment. But you got to say it, you got to accept that. Because I may not want to, I like it so much today, I don't want to leave it today. You know? Yeah.
We was talking about God and our thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And maybe think about what the prophet spoke about, because I need help.
Yeah.
You know,
I do
so
too.
I have to surrender
Yeah.
to this way of life.
Yeah.
Because I can't do this. I can't do this on my own.
Yeah.
I need guidance.
Yeah.
And I have to realize that I got. He said he got cherubim, seraphim.
Yeah.
The Buddha states and stars.
Yes.
His protectors and his guide, and
Yes.
they will lead the victory.
Yes.
I had to have confidence in that.
Yes.
Because in Acts 7 it talks about keeping your heart and your mind pure
Yes.
for love
Yes.
and your body clean with water.
Yes.
That helps guard the thoughts.
Yes.
Because the team and thoughts coming. They
Yes.
multiplying rapidly.
Yes. But remember this. One of the most important things about that statement, about the cherubim and the seraphims, is that it's the will of man that makes possible. See, it's not even possible if your will is not ignited. If you're not willing it, you can have all the help you want to have, but it's not going to do you no good. You got to know, and you got to will it. Because that's your power.
It's available too.
That's your power. Because your power is the power of will.
That's right.
Or if you put your will power and you put it out there and you start to get some movement in it, you can will yourself out of any condition that you have created. In whatever condition you're in, you can will yourself out of it. But not willing is willing.
Yes. The choice is being made.
Of course it is.
I just read that this morning. When you will to do good, you will do good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's an exercise in that.
But see, and when you will not,
That's
you
right.
won't. But you're still willing.
Right.
You're just willing not.
But just like nature urges us to encounter, nature urges us to be good too.
Oh, it's no question.
Overcoming
No question.
resistance is the reach to go.
That's the key, Mo.
Yeah.
But you have to make a choice. You gotta make a choice, Mo. You gotta make a choice, Mo. And you gotta be able to identify what's ever affecting you that's causing you to hesitate in making that choice. Whatever is keeping you from making that choice, you gotta get rid of it. And it doesn't matter how much physical satisfaction you may receive from it. That's the very one that's got you. You gotta make a choice. See, it's about choice, man. It ain't about coming in them doors and all of a sudden you think you're gonna be all like this or that. It's about choice.
That's right.
You can't do dirt, man, once you reach a certain stage of your development. You can't. You got to make a choice.
That's right.
I'm either gonna stop right here or I'm gonna move forward.
Yeah.
It's your choice. Your choice is going to be the determining factor of what you experience in life. Your choice. Now, what we're hoping is that we have enough information and practice that we make the right choice. I'm hoping that I practice enough so I know that the choice I make is based on what I do know from my practice. But if I ain't been practicing, I'm guessing.
Yes. Listen.
I'm guessing. And to be in the world of illusion, guessing in a thought pattern of guessing it will lead to your destruction.
So along that choice, I have to make that decision.
You better. But the decision is solely based on the choice.
Right, right.
It's just like taking a test, but not studying for the test.
Of course.
So when it's time to come, I'm just circling anything.
Or even looking at somebody else. Looking at somebody's paper. Yeah. And he may not be.
And he might be guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on.
I was thinking, the prophet, he informed me that I'm weak and ignorant.
Yep.
He also told me that victory over self gives me added strength.
Yeah, every victory, yeah.
Yeah, every victory over self gives me added strength.
Yes.
Strength to toil.
Yes.
And strength to be able to combat the next foe
Yeah.
that I must meet.
Experience, yeah. And that the next foe will be the one you create. You create your foe. Every foe that you have is a creation of you.
Yeah.
They didn't just pop up. You created it.
Yeah.
And once you created it, it must manifest. Especially when you don't go back to try to unmake it.
Right.
That's where the victory over self comes in.
When you're able to, that's right, make the choice.
Yeah.
But remember, your foe appeals to your body. It appeals to a part of you that causes a stirring movement. It stimulates. It causes you to feel a certain way. And the way it makes you feel is satisfying to the body. You got to remember, as well as me, that man is not the body. So how am I gonna let the body have all that say so? That ain't me.
Come on.
My body has no business making no decisions. Because it can't think. So that means anything I'm jumping into, prompted by my feelings that come from my body, I mean, I'm jumping into something that can take my life.
Uncertainty.
Of course. It's born. I gotta check my body.
Right. Yeah, because it's urgent, it's begging. So if it's begging, I gotta be able to distinguish.
There's no question.
I got to be able to distinguish.
There's no
Is it coming from the flesh or is it coming from the
You
thought?
got to. But how would you know
Exactly.
unless you have made
Makes
the
some
choice?
Say it again.
You will know if you have made a choice. See, the only way that you don't know about the body is when you haven't made a choice. That's why choice is so important. Because see, it's hard because the body can make it so appealing.
Absolutely.
The body can make it can make it feel as though it's all right. I ain't gotta do it but this one time. I ain't gotta hit that but one time. I'm gonna put it aside, you know. But that's an illusion. That's the illusion. Now the body is prompting your current of thought. From your current of thought, it goes into your mind, and then you create the condition that you must experience by the way you've been thinking.
Right. With attachments.
There's no question.
And they just spring forth.
There's no question. And it brings everything with it. It's not just that one thing. He said unrest, misery, and death.
Is that why he say bump not the body?
Oh, you got to put the body in check, Mo.
Bump not that body.
Because the body is only a uniform.
Yes.
We're wearing this uniform while we're here on earth. But this uniform for earth can't go no place but on earth. The uniform is only recognized on earth because it disintegrates. It disintegrates when we are ready to, when it is our time to move on. Because the atmosphere burns it up. Because the body is made from murkiness.
That's right. That's right.
It's conjoined or congealed to formulate the flesh. But the flesh can only exist in this atmosphere. The atmosphere beyond this atmosphere burns it up.
Not needed.
It has no purpose.
Not even known.
Come on, Mo.
Yeah, and John the
I had no intention to go this far into this.
It's a different one.
Go ahead, Mo.
But in yon the kingdom of the soul, this carnal evolution is not known.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. And that is the next etheric vibration. See, that etheric vibration prevents things of earth from existing. It's too fast. See, this is real slow here. That's why we can see the manifestations. Because it's slow here. The rhythm is slow. So in a slower rhythm, things are made manifest. Yeah.
You know, one of the things I think about, Brother Lee, is that we need to try to remind ourselves
Yes.
that we are spirits
Yes.
on a consistent basis.
Yes.
Because if we don't remind ourselves, it's easy for us to accept the thinking that we are the body.
Yeah.
Because the information that we are spirits is somewhat new to us
Yes.
in this life right.
Yes.
So
Praise the Lord.
try to remind yourself that you are a spirit
Yes.
on a consistent basis. Maybe it can help you control
Yes.
some of those urgings
Yes.
and them promptings
Yes.
of the body.
And keep in mind, baby, remember, we are spirits, but we are also living souls.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right. That's right.
See, we are living souls. You know, when he was planted in the soil, a soul, he became something. What did he become? A living soul. No. So that's what, it's just, talking about what we are, who we are, without guidance, we can get out there and get lost. You have to have guidance. You have to be able to relate to the book. The book will take you and step you through the phases, and it steps you through the degrees of development. It takes you and it lets you explore the consciousness, the awareness of your existence. It explains things to you. It explains to you about your inconstancy and what it has an impact on. It explains to you your instability. It talks to you about misery and where it comes from, and how you are the one who creates it. It tells you about the mind and how the mind is so constructed that one thought can be made just like that. And that one thought can follow you to your next life if you intend to. Yeah. Come on, Mom.
Did we talk about how to make good choices?
Well,
to my understanding, how to make good choices.
oh, okay, all right. Now, the way you phrase it, I'm getting ready to respond to you because that's what you was asking. But no, go ahead, by all means.
To put physical exercise, practice, and study. The physical exercise circulate the blood through the brain where thoughts are made.
No, Mom, wait a minute now. Hold it now. See, now you transpose it. And that's not necessarily accurate because you're talking from.
Thoughts have the choices, right?
No, Mo, but you're saying physical. You're saying physical. It's not that, you cannot have physical exercise, but you can exercise mentally. And your physicality and your physical will follow your mental attitude.
That's right.
It ain't the physical first. You can work out all you want from the physical point of view.
Right.
But you can only go so far from the physical point of view.
They gotta be hard to balance.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
I mentioned all three. I'm saying the physical is more so important because the blood circulates through the brain where
Okay.
where the thoughts are generated.
But the blood that circulates in the mind is not the blood that circulates in the brain. I'm not talking about, you talking about the physical, I'm not talking about the physical blood. Because the physical blood is an illusion. It only associates with the physical body. Just like the heart is physical. It only associates with the physical body.
That's right.
But that ain't the heart where we meet him.
No. That's right.
That ain't where we meet him. So you have to make the distinction that the body is secondary. Because if you don't have your thoughts, which are spirit, right, it don't matter how much you work out physically. It's the spirit and the thought that's caused the growth. The spirit that lies in the thought, that causes the growth. That thought, that spirit that's in that thought will take you up, or it can keep you, you can debase yourself. It ain't the body. The body is just a instrument that's used to cause you to move about. That's all the body does, causes a function. And you choose what function you want it to perform.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
I want to be a knockout artist. So I'll go practice knocking out people. Because I'll use the body, but it's the thought that causes you the ability to knock out, not the body by itself. Come on.
I wanted to ask the question on how do you teach the spirit to be attended to as good, since you're doing that.
Okay. You remember, what did he tell you that you must do? What did he tell you you must do?
Obtain one.
What did he tell you to establish? You know why? Why? It gives you rules. Meaning, things that you won't do. You see what I'm saying? You know what you won't do. And when you got a rule over your life, you can make, that can aid you in making what? Right choice. That's right. But it must be based on your principles. Certain principles, you ain't, look, certain things I'm just not gonna do.
That's right.
I'm just not gonna do that. Now, I might do that, but I'm gonna work on that too. But there's certain things I'm just not, some principles that you've established or that comes from love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Certain ones you can do. I can do that. I've been doing that. I can do that now. But there are certain things that you still have to work on. That doesn't mean that you're not successful in your attempt to renew your acts or in your ways. That just simply means that you're working on yourself. And that's what we're supposed to be doing anyway. See, that's why, you never criticize a person for where they are along the way.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Because your criticizing comes from your perception, not theirs. They see it a whole lot different because they're the ones that's going through it. And you know, one of the things you want to stay away from too is this, trying to tell people what they should be doing. Just because you may have been successful in the choice that you made to do this way, then why rob him of his life some? Now, if there is a opening where you can make a suggestion, then by all means share it. But don't become discombobulated if he doesn't take your advice.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Can't make him take your advice just because that's the way you saw it. They have their way, everybody on here, down here, that's with us, because we're here. We're here now. I mean, we are here. And we got to work on leaving here. But we're here. And we didn't start out being here.
That's right.
Praise the Lord.
See, this is this is a result of our creation.
Come on, man.
We are reaping what we sow. That's why we're here. We're reaping what we have sown. Now we're trying to unmake what we made. And it's, and the conflict that can't be told in words. Come on.
We desire
Yes.
to be in this body.
Yes.
Because we didn't have to be in this body. We made that choice.
We made the choice, man.
And
That's right.
that's what we chose,
That's
a
what we
body.
chose.
So now we got to deal with it. The conflict that can't be told in words.
I bet it. We don't know how far we've come since that moment we made the choice to come.
That's right.
But remember, it was only yesterday. Yes.
And also I'd like to add to that choice part, that choice was by no accident.
No, it ain't by no accident. We desired.
That's it.
Yeah, I know how.
Our desire. You ask yourself, how could we be in a certain state and desire to be in a lesser state? What is it that caused us to have the desire to find ourselves in a lesser state? Things I've come in contact with from reading. See, we didn't start out with the intention of being disobedient. We just didn't know what we were entering into.
That's right.
Asking for something, don't know what you're asking.
You don't know what you're asking for. You don't even know what you have. Because we came into the light of it. We didn't know nothing but this. But all of a sudden, we have been given the attributes to create stuff. Man, I can create stuff like them. Yeah.
Real quick, I oftentimes I want to change my condition, but I'm more than to change myself.
Yeah, man.
So I find it very difficult, wonder why I can't move forward. I'm struggling, then I say ain't nobody helping me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
It's all up to me, since we are creators, we make our own.
Yeah, man. You know, I'll tell you something too, you know, but and I gotta go. But coming into that realization will, I mean, it will, as it starts, when you come into the realization for real, that you create stuff. I mean, when you really accept it, that you can do things just with this. But you know that you have to be very restricted in what you do. Because whatever can do good can also do harm.
Praise God.
Then you see it from a different perspective. Hey man, y'all got to man, look, man. There ain't no happening. It does. It does.
Praise God.
It does.
Read your one verse.
That's a good one.
Read your one verse.
I got to get one here.
Praise God.
Now, I'm not taking no question.
Okay.
I'm just reading. Look, chapter 38. Holy instructions from the prophet, the soul of man. Let's go. Yeah. Let me start. I gotta roll. Look, let's go here. Let's go. No, let's go to 9. Yeah, let's go to 9. Instruction 9. Yeah. She is immortal. She is unchangeable. She is alike in all. Health calleth her forth to show her loveliness, and application anointeth her with the oil of wisdom. Who we talking about? Soul. Peace. Peace.
Islam, Morris. I'd like to thank our Grand Sheikh, who is the moderator of this Holy Divine Movement, Elijah John Bay, for his instructions. Also, I thank you all for your participation. Also, like to thank you for this day and for this hour, for the things that we have compressed at this moment. We got to hold the thought, hold some of it, can't hold all of it. Praise the Lord for this moment. Now I'd like to call Assistant Grand Governor of Washington, D.C., Brother T.K. Deal, to read the warning, and we cease our movement and give him your invited attention.
Islam, Morris.
Islam.
First, I rise and give praise to Allah, the great God of the universe, and I give honor to His holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Ali, and I give honor to each and every one of you. It's a great day, Morris. Great day. Prophet warns all Muslims governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans that causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Nobuju Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Nobuju Ali. Peace.
Peace.